Hey everybody, welcome to Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. I am your host, Frank LaRosa, and I am joined here with my right-hand man, dressed in green, Dale Dempsey, COO, Master of All Information.
Thanks for the introduction.
That's
good to be back.
Nickname.
Okay.
Good to be back.
Yeah,
good to be
it's
back.
great to be back.
Yeah.
Really busy so far this year.
Crazy busy. Already got a couple of big commitments. I actually feel like I never stopped working other than I promised my wife Christmas Day I wouldn't work and New Year's Day.
Okay.
But other than that, too much going on. A lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on that you don't necessarily see, which is the topic of this podcast.
Right.
Really, we're talking about hidden competition.
Yeah, totally. But before we get into that, and I can tell we're a little rusty, but that's okay. I'm a little rusty. We took a little bit of break from this because candidly, we were so busy working with clients. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome to the show. This is a show.
Yeah.
It's just two guys talking about the business, hence the title Advisor Talk. And so we talk about a lot of stuff. So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. For those of you that have watched us before, some people, although I really appreciate it, where they say we binge listen to your stuff all weekend. Thank you very much for that. Not sure I would binge listen to my stuff, but I appreciate it anyway. But yeah, so you've been talking about this a lot too, and we've been seeing a lot of this. Everyone talks about the traditional competition, right? Your Merrills and your Morgans and
it's like advisor to advisor competition, right?
It's advisor to advisor. It's retail firms, W-2 firms to 1099 firms, right?
Right.
But yeah, you and I were talking about sort of the silent competitors out there. And I just had a conversation with a top guy at one of the RIAs that we work with, and he had no idea what I was talking about, which was interesting. And so, interestingly enough, we've seen more and more advisors, and I see commercials all the time about from firms like ADP and Paychex, for instance, and all of a sudden they're starting to, I'm not even going to say dip their toe in the water of wealth management, but they're actively going out and looking for 401k business, retirement business. We had at the beginning of the year, we had, somebody coming in here to talk about our payroll services, and we made the appointment, and it was great. They were coming in, and what a coincidence! The payroll person can't make it, but we brought the 401k and retirement guy in to talk to you guys.
Yeah,
it's like a bait and switch.
It's a bait and switch, and everybody's trying to be in this space, right? From your Amazons and Googles who are slowly getting in there. They're offering financing. They're starting banks, Walmart, you name it, to these tech startups and these insurance businesses that have been doing it for years. Banking companies have been doing it for years. And recently, like you said, now we're starting to see, service providers like a payroll service provider try to get right in there to your client and get their hands around some assets and make some money off of it.
Look, I have a client in the Midwest. I won't really use that's as far as I'll go with that one, but in the Midwest, and he's a really good book of business, and I was talking about this with him over the summertime, not summertime, but late fall, because I actually, for those listeners that don't know, but here at Elite we actually opened up and bought a payroll franchise, human resource franchise for this exact reason, and we're seeing more and more of this. Which is called Payroll Vault of Morristown, if those of you are looking for payroll services. Anyway, the point was I was talking to my client about this, and it was one of the things that really made me make that final decision. And he primarily works with dentists, so dental practices all across the country. And one of the areas that he makes a lot of money in with is their pensions, their retirement plans, 401ks, all that stuff. And he tells me constantly that ADP is constantly after his 401k business, his retirement business, right? So they're selling the payroll service for free, right? And they're trying to get in the back door, do an end around to get their retirement business.
Right.
Then the other day I saw a commercial for ADP where they're getting into like the staffing business, right? They're trying to do whatever they can to expand their footprint. And what we were talking about the other day is I think it's only a matter of time before those types of companies expand beyond the 401k retirement business into the traditional wealth business, right? Because if they're going to work with a business owner and get their 401k, well, that business owner probably has money outside of their 401k. So why shouldn't we go after that business too?
It's a natural progression. They're going to want that as part of the entire reason that they went after the 401k business to begin with.
Right.
And it'll be a loss leader. Oh, well, we're gonna have to take your personal account on.
Right.
Oh, you want to?
They're chasing assets just like Morgan, Merrill,
Yeah.
every other firm out there. They're chasing assets. So if you're an advisor listening to this, you need to be thinking about that. And if you're someone that manages retirement business and you have business owners as clients, obviously, don't be fooled to think, oh well, it's not a big deal that they run their payroll through Paychex. Paychex is coming after your retirement business. We have a friend of ours that works for Paychex.
Mm-hmm.
And he does the small plan business, and that's what he says that they use payroll as the door to get in, and then they go after the 401k business.
Right. Right, which is pretty lucrative too. I think
absolutely.
These firms recognize the fact that they can make a lot of money. The liability is not all that high. They charge a reasonable rate, and it's sort of just reoccurring revenue that shows up. That's potentially bigger business than their payroll stuff.
Well, it's much bigger.
Well,
and it's less labor intensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's less labor intensive. You don't need payroll people. You don't need the staff to run payroll.
Yeah.
You need a handful of advisors that can answer the phones. But I think it's only a matter of time that, and if they're, look, I don't have an inside scoop into the goings on behind the curtain at ADP and Paychex, but I've been in business long enough to know that those folks are probably seeing the movement within financial services. They're seeing where private equity firms are putting their money, and right, and they're going, why aren't we on that? Why aren't we in that in that mix? Why aren't we don't have a seat at the table?
Yeah.
I just feel like this is one of those things where it's going to creep up on us, right? And before you know it, they're going to be a big player in the space. And you're going to have if you're a financial advisor, you're going to have a tough time selling to your clients on why they shouldn't be all in one with an ADP with their 401ks and then their payroll, and they're doing all their business services all in one place, because the pitch that ADP is going to make is, well, we're going to give you scale and pricing, right? Just like they give payroll business away, they're going to start not giving away the wealth management fee, but they're going to create some major price compression in the space, and no one's going to see it coming. Nobody sees it coming. I literally was just talking to somebody 10 minutes ago, and he was asking me about our payroll company, why we're doing this. What I said to him was, look, we look at it as protecting our client relationships, our ongoing client relationships, because we're never going to go after the 401k. And so if their clients are working with our firm, they can be rest assured that we're not going to go solicit their 401k business. He didn't even know that ADP does 401k retirement business. Like, he didn't know. He knew they do payroll and all that stuff and benefits. He didn't really know that they were in that space and trying to build out that 401k space.
You don't want to find out the hard way on that one either.
Well, it's going to be one of these calls that an advisor gets, and everyone gets these calls over their lifetime as an advisor, where the client calls you and says, "Hey, look, man, we've worked together for a long time, and I think you're awesome, but right, I can get much better pricing on my 401k if I move it over to ADP, because they're going to do my 401k, my payroll, and everything else, and you have no shot."
Well,
unless you're doing payroll,
unless yes, and that's the key here, right? So this is something we've been talking about for a little while, but the solution ultimately was, you need a payroll company that puts you as the advisor in the forefront of everything that goes on. Creates creates value, a barrier. I was going to say a moat, a fence around your relationship with the client,
right? And
your client doesn't, that you're going to be able to handle that 401k business better. And the client, what they really want. And it's not going to be best served at an ADP or a Paychex. So Payroll Vault does just that, right? Payroll. So we don't solicit any 401k business.
That's why we got into the space, right? That's why we made the investment to do that, because we looked at it as a continuation of our relationship with our financial advisors.
Right.
Right.
We're sort of like we're like the Rangers, right? Like the special forces on the front line for advisors who have clients out there that are, they're getting taken advantage of and attacked.
Right.
Right. And a lot of advisors just don't see it. And, I think that's,
I had an advisor,
yeah,
a friend of mine, and his wife owns a medical facility. And he's probably laughing if he's listening to this podcast because he knows it happened. It was funny. We were laughing about it. And his wife went from sort of having somebody run their own payroll and everything to going over to ADP. And then all of a sudden, and he's a financial service professional, so I won't use the firm,
right.
but all of a sudden he gets paperwork that the 401k for his wife is being transferred out to ADP.
I forgot about this. Yeah, I remember this story.
And he calls his wife, and I'll just say her name was Sarah. It's not, but her name is Sarah. Well, your wife's name is Sarah, but it wasn't you.
Right.
Like, Sarah, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I didn't know. I was transferring the payroll stuff, and they said I just had to sign all these things to move the retirement business also.
But that's how it works.
They don't even know.
It's so, and it just happens all the time.
Right.
As we know with our bait and switch situation here, they really want to go after this wealth management business. And the next iteration is...
So hold on. You said our bait and switch. What bait and switch are you talking about?
Our experience when ADP came in here and said, hey, here's a bait and switch.
I'm going, we don't bait and switch anybody. What are you talking about? Like, whoa.
Well, no.
Yeah, right. What they did to us
happens all the time.
All the time.
With small businesses and clients of advisors.
Yeah, dude, I was sitting in that meeting for the first 20 minutes going, so when is the payroll person coming in? Like, and
well, I was talking to him ahead of time because he wanted to set my expectations straight. He knew I was going to be upset if he wasn't coming in here to talk about benefits, health benefits,
right.
Health insurance. And sure enough, he told me, and I knew exactly what was happening. And I knew it was a tall tale.
Right.
They wanted to come in here.
For the second half of that meeting, I wasn't even listening.
What were we going to listen to? Yeah. I mean,
right. When you run a business, and if you're an independent practitioner, this is important also. If you're not in the W-2 side, but if you're an independent practitioner and you're running payroll, right? You either trying to do it yourself or you're using QuickBooks like I used to do, which is a pain in the ass because if you have questions, you can't even get answers, right? Or your accountant's doing it and he's charging you twice as much as he should. Or if essentially you have to go do business with your competition. Like you're literally going to do business with Paychex and ADP, who is coming after your wealth management business.
Well, part of the problem,
it's crazy.
So what I figured out from our friend, our mutual friend at ADP, they don't really care about doing health benefits for smaller companies, like 100 employees, 50 employees and under. Now the wealth management stuff though is perfect, which is probably the reason why they did that. They had no interest in the only interest they had was, all right, gather the 401k assets, let's make money off of that.
Right. Yeah, well that's why they give that payroll business away. I mean,
so I just had a thought. So I guess potentially advisors could do the reverse, essentially, and maybe it's not us, maybe it's not Payroll Vault, but it's a payroll company, and then they can bring that to their clients as a solution. Yeah, well, of course, but that goes unsaid. But they could go to the client and say, look, this is what I'm seeing with other clients, and really I want to give you a more personalized payroll solution, and they insulate themselves.
Right.
And then go after that 401k business that's at ADP. Right. Do the reverse.
Right. So if you're an advisor and you're working with business owners, to Dale's point, one of the ways to go after the retirement business, so we're sort of teaching you the flip side of this whole thing, right? And basically turning the strategy that ADP uses against you, turning it on them. Go talk to your business owner clients, right, or people that that are business owners, and ask them if you can help them with those services, those payroll services. And obviously, if you refer them to us, that's awesome. We appreciate it. But I'm sure you work with a CPA that does payroll. Some of them like it, some of them don't. Build those centers of influence. We talked about that on a previous podcast on how to become the guy that knows everybody, right? And eventually, if you provide that level of service to the right payroll person and the right payroll company, it makes it so much easier for you to pull the 401k over, right? Because now basically they're not going to get any service from ADP, and you can provide a better service. That's actually a great point on how they can turn the tide against their competitors. So anyway, we thought that was an interesting thing. I keep seeing commercials for these companies, and I keep saying, dude, we got to talk about this.
Yeah,
this is common. They had payroll, HR, and outsource. Eventually they're going to see wealth management services. You're going to see it.
Oh yeah,
it's only a matter of time. So if you're
it might even exist today. I'm just thinking this through.
Well,
I wonder
it does
if
in
Allstate or maybe it's State Farm. I think one of them do.
Well, those companies can do mutual funds and stuff like that. They can do sort of like a wealth management light.
Was it H&R Block? Somebody, I think
H&R Block.
They had, yeah.
Right.
But I'm sorry to cut you off. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the biggest ones I see that have the best chance of, not that Paychex is a huge company, but ADP is a massive company. They already have the keys. And so you just got to be careful. And if you're at this time of the year, if I was a financial advisor, what I would be doing right now is I would be looking at my book of business, and I would be identifying all of the clients that you have that are business owners, right? Number one. So all of your business owner clients, because eventually they're going to be, even though you might not manage their 401k, somebody like an ADP is coming after your business owner's total account.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's number one. Number two is, if you are an advisor of business owner clients and manage their retirement accounts, you need to really get your arms around them and need to figure out where they're doing their payroll services for their company. That's your competition. It's not the dude across the street at Morgan Stanley. Right.
So by the way, this doesn't really, it doesn't preclude an advisor their whatever firm they're at. Let's just clarify that. Right. So you could be at a large institution. This is a solution, no matter what firm you're at.
Yeah.
To put really secure that relationship with the client.
Yeah. I call it circling the wagons, right?
Right.
It's about circling the wagons around your client and insulating them to make sure that your competition and a business service that you can't control can come after your client.
What I'm thinking about there is, for the listeners, it doesn't matter what firm if your firm doesn't offer payroll services, it doesn't matter. There's still firms, like ours that can do this for you. So
right.
I just want to kind of put that out there. So
we're not saying go be a payroll provider.
No.
What we're saying is find a good resource and a good partner that you can refer business to, knowing that it will insulate your clients from the competition. So that's really the whole point. And
yeah.
So anyway, with that said, that's a great stop, right? Hard stop. Perfect. That's what we're really trying to get to. But look, this was awesome. It's been something that I wanted to get off my chest for a long time. Candidly, I'm excited about our new payroll company because I really believe we can be at the forefront and really protect our clients and extend our relationship with our clients. So I'm excited about that. But thanks for listening, everybody. Don't forget to download and subscribe to iTunes and Spotify, wherever else you're listening to this stuff. Check out our YouTube channel, Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. We got some great content on there. I also have some other content on there that's sort of non-financial related, but it's more about self-development, personal, professional development, some good stuff there. Don't forget to like and subscribe also, and continue to send us comments and suggestions about topics that you want to hear about. We love to hear about them. Our content is basically derived from conversations with advisors around the country, either the same day or the week before. So we are very fluid with our content. So whatever you want to talk about, if we taping that week, we will tape your content. So thanks a lot. Have a great one and have an awesome 2021.
Great talk.
Thanks for watching Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out some of our other episodes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you back here next week.